Department of Technical Education and Training. DTET. College of Technology Jaffna. National Vocational Qualification Level 5. Information and Communication Technology. Lecture 01. Basic Programming Concepts. Software Programming. What is computer? An electronic device which is capable of receiving information, data, in a particular form and of performing a sequence of operations in accordance with a predetermined, such as variable set of procedural instructions, program, to produce a result in the form as information or signals. What is programming language? A programming language is a formal constructed language designed to communicate instructions to a machine, particularly a computer. Programming languages can be used to create programs to control the behavior of a machine. Evolution of programming languages. All programming languages developed from the beginning can be classified into 4 classes based on the nature of their commands. 1. First generation programming languages. Machine languages. 2. Second generation programming languages. Assembly languages. 3. Third generation programming languages. High-level languages. 4. Fourth generation programming languages. Artificial languages. Types of programming languages. There are 3 types of programming languages. Low-level language. A language which is closer to machine, computer. Low-level language. A low-level language is one which is closer to the machine, computer. It is easier for machines to understand and difficult for humans to understand. It is faster in execution as compared to high and middle-level languages. 2 of the types of low-level languages are machine language, assembly language. First generation programming languages. All machine languages fall into this category. Common properties of these languages. 1. All commands are based on the binary code symbols 0 and 1. 2. Coding programs and programming computers are extremely difficult. 3. Depend on the machine type. Therefore, a program coded for one processor type may not run on a machine with a different processor type. 4. Programmer should have a comprehensive knowledge about the hardware of the intended computer system. Machine language. It is one of the low-level language. It is the language of zeros and ones. Machine languages are the only languages directly understood by the computers. While easily understood by computers, machine languages are almost impossible for humans to use because they consist entirely of numbers, zeros and ones. Machine language. It is the native language of the machines, computers. Here all the instructions are written as code of binary sequence. For example, in order to do addition, the code is 10010001. In order to decrement a number by 1, the code is 11011011. In order to move data from one place to another, the code is 100111. There are hundreds of instructions and each instruction has a binary code. Is it possible to remember all the codes of hundreds of instructions? Obviously not. Hence machine language almost impossible to understand. Machine language. Machine language program example. Second generation programming languages. These languages were developed primarily to alleviate the problem of using only the binary symbols 0 and 1 to develop programs. Common properties of these languages. 1. Commands are represented by symbolic names such as add, sub. 2. Ability to use symbolic names to store data at memory locations and to retrieve data from memory by using these symbolic names. 3. Ability to debug programs easier than programs in machine code. 4. Depend on the machine type. 5. Need for programmer to have comprehensive knowledge of hardware of the intended computer system. Assembly language. Assembly language is same as machine language but uses English-like words to represent individual operations. For example, instead of binary codes it uses add, move, sub, inc. Assembly language is also a low-level language. It is easier than the machine language but still it is very difficult to control. A larger program using assembly. As assembly language contains English-like words, which will not be understood by the computer, because it only understands zeros and ones. A translator first converts the assembly language program into machine language program. Translator used with assembly language is called assembler. Assembly language program example. Assembly languages programs. Programs written in assembly languages cannot be executed directly on the computer as assembly languages are not understood by the processors. Instead, such programs have to be transformed into the machine language of the intended computer using appropriate language translation software. Such language translation software that translate programs written in assembly languages to machine language are called assemblers. Third-generation programming languages. Programming languages such as C and VB belong to this type. Common properties of these languages. 1. Based on languages close to humans such as English. 2. Do not depend on the machine. 3. Programs can be developed and debugged easily. Like the assembly languages, these languages also cannot be directly understood by the machines. Therefore, to execute programs written in these languages, they have to be translated into machine code using appropriate language translation software. High-level language. A language which is closer to human programmer. High-level language. A high-level language is one which is closer to the human programmer. It is easier for humans to understand and difficult for machines to understand. It is slower in execution as compared to low-level languages. Like assembly language, it also uses English-like words for the operations. For example, for, if, else, break, continue, while, include, using, import. It is more easier than assembly language. Some of the high-level programming languages are GW Basic, C++, Java, Pascal, COBOL, Python, C#, Visual Basic, JHash, Ruby, PHP. High-level language program example. Public class exercise 2. Public static void main. Opening curly bracket. Int a equals 5. Int b equals 5. int c equals a plus b. Console. Write line c. Closing curly bracket. Closing curly bracket. Fourth